Hey guys, it's Sagar, and for my 11th video of this year, we are going to take a detailed look at this Realme 9 Pro Plus. At a starting price of 24,999, we will see what all it offers, how does it stack up against its predecessor, the Realme 8 Pro, and we will also see how it stands up against the competition. Last year we got the Realme 8 and the Realme 8 Pro. This year, Realme 9 Pro is the successor of the Realme 8, and this Realme 9 Pro Plus is the successor of Realme 8 Pro. With the new naming scheme, we also get a price increase across all models. Companies don't send me review units, so just like most of you guys, I went out and purchased this phone myself. I got it from one of the offline stores and they had very limited quantities in stock. It's available in 3 color options: Sunrise Blue, Aurora Green and Midnight Black. All these get a glossy glass back, which I am not a big fan of. There are 3 RAM and storage options. One with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage is priced at 24,999. For 2000 rupees extra, you get the 8GB RAM and 128GB storage variant. And the 8GB RAM and 256GB storage variant comes in at 28,999. You don't get expandable storage on this phone, so think a lot about your future storage needs before making your purchase decision. I bought the 8 128GB variant in Midnight Black color. I wanted to get the Aurora Green color, but I checked out a few stores and none of them had it in stock. In this big and heavy box, we get the SIM tray ejection pin, some paperwork like warranty information and safety guide, a flexible, slightly dark transparent TPU case, the phone itself, 60W super dart charger, and this USB Type-C to Type-A cable for charging and data transfer. One of the first things which I noticed after holding this phone is that it's not as tall, wide or heavy as some of the other phones that I was recently testing, and this puts a smile on my face. Thanks to the slight curve to the back and a narrow profile, it fits very comfortably in my hands. We get glass at the front and back, but this phone still doesn't feel too heavy. I think the Realme 6 Pro had a glass back, and I'm really happy to see it make a comeback on this Realme 9 Pro Plus. I just wish they should have gone with a matte back, as this glossy one catches a lot of fingerprints. This frame is made of plastic and it feels very similar to the frame on the Realme 8 Pro. Having glass at the front and back makes it a bit less durable than before. We get a screen protector pre-installed, and the case that comes in the box provides a good amount of protection to the phone. Taking a look around, we get the power button on the right side, a secondary noise cancelling microphone at the top, and the volume buttons and the SIM tray on the left side. This SIM tray can just hold 2 nano SIM cards, and there is no option for expandable storage. I think this is a huge step back because the Realme 8 Pro came with a triple slot SIM tray. At the very least, Realme should have given us a hybrid slot in this phone. At the bottom, we get the 3.5mm headphone jack, primary microphone, USB Type-C port and a speaker grill. This phone gets dual stereo speakers where the earpiece speaker acts as a second speaker. At the back, other than the Realme branding, we just get the triple camera module. Fortunately, we don't get the bold Dare to Leap text on this phone's back like on the Realme 8 Pro. I'm so glad that they got rid of it. This way, the back looks much cleaner. The overall build and design of this phone is good, but it is not that different or groundbreaking. If you have liked this video so far and if you are new to this channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it. That way, you won't miss out on any of the amazing videos coming up on this channel. Now the main reason why this phone is so comfortable to hold is its screen size. It comes with a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display with a resolution of 2400 by 1080 pixels. And to maintain a 20:9 aspect ratio, the overall width becomes narrower, which I really appreciate. It's a 90Hz refresh rate panel, so not as high refresh rate as some of the other competitors. It also gets 360Hz touch sampling rate and 600 nits of peak brightness, which is again much lower than what most of the competing phones are offering. This display panel gets Gorilla Glass 5 protection. The funny thing is, Realme also launched the Realme 9 Pro, and that phone is available at 17,999 rupees, which is way lower than this Realme 9 Pro Plus. And that phone comes with a 120Hz refresh rate display. I just don't know what Realme was thinking while doing this, but this is where we are. I guess the only plus point is, this display is an upgrade over the 60Hz AMOLED display on the Realme 8 Pro. Colors look good on this display. Blacks are deep, viewing angles are also good, and while the on-paper specs say otherwise, it gets plenty bright for most of the outdoor lighting conditions. The 90Hz scrolling feels smooth and lag-free for the most part. There is wideband L1 support, so you can watch Full HD content on Amazon Prime and other streaming platforms, but Netflix and some of the other apps don't allow HDR content playback as of now. Other than that, the overall media consumption experience is really nice on this phone. There is a small punch hole style cutout at the top left for the front-facing camera, and the earpiece speaker sits right between the display and frame of the phone. The bezels on the side are pretty thin, but the one on the bottom is pretty thick, just like it was on the Realme 7 Pro and the Realme 8 Pro. While the bottom bezels on other phones are also slightly thicker, I don't think there is any other phone in this price range in 2022 which gets a bottom bezel as thick as the one on the Realme 9 Pro Plus. We get dual stereo speakers, but there is a catch. This earpiece speaker acts as a secondary speaker and there is no dedicated speaker at the top. These speakers can get really loud. The sound is a bit hollow and tinny and not as bass heavy as from some of the other phones. I mean, it's good, but it is not the best. There is Dolby Atmos support, so you can hear a clear separation in audio from both speakers. You will also experience the back vibrate when you are listening to something on higher audio levels. That being said, you will still have a good audio listening experience no matter whether you are playing games or consuming media. It's just not the best. You also get a 3.5mm headphone jack if you don't want to play the audio via your phone speakers. And it gets high-res audio support, so depending on your earphones, you could have really good audio coming out of this port. Many of you will be happy to know that this phone comes with an in-display fingerprint sensor. And I'm happy to tell you that this is one of the fastest and most accurate in-display fingerprint sensors that I have tested on a phone in under 30,000 rupees. So am I finally ready to embrace the in-display fingerprint sensors on phones in this price range? Well, still not. Well, I'm glad that it is as fast and accurate as the physical ones, but it still needs light to read your finger. So you will either have to raise or tap the screen, which makes it a bit slower. But I'm still happy that these fingerprint sensors are going in the right direction. There is nothing wrong with an in-display fingerprint sensor. It's just I don't prefer to have it on my phones. Which type of fingerprint sensors do you guys prefer? In-display type or physical ones? Let me know in the comments. This fingerprint sensor also measures your heart rate. You can go to settings, scroll down to Realme Lab and click on heart rate measurement. The reading that you get with this is fairly accurate. I don't think you should completely rely on this reading for any health purpose, but it is a nice little feature to have. This phone comes with a MediaTek Dimensity 920 processor coupled with Mali G68 GPU. It is so good to see Realme finally changing the processor after using the same Snapdragon 720G on their Realme 6 Pro, 7 Pro and 8 Pro. You get 6 or 8GB of LPDDR4X RAM and 128 or 256GB of UFS 2.2 storage. It also gets dynamic RAM expansion, so the phone can use some part of the fast internal storage as RAM when the system is under heavy load. What all this means is, you get a fast and reliable performance while using this Realme 9 Pro Plus. It's a 5G capable processor, and when the 5G networks will be available, you can have two 5G SIM cards running simultaneously. We have seen this chip handle 120Hz refresh rate on other phones, so 90Hz calling on this phone feels extremely smooth. Apps open quickly and you should not have any problems multitasking on this phone. Gaming performance on this phone is similar to what we had on the Xiaomi 11i Hypercharge. It handles most of the games without any issues. There are no frame drops in normal games, but for heavy games there are some lags and stutters here and there. It doesn't get hot while playing games, but it does get slightly warm next to the camera module. I also noticed it gets pretty warm while using the camera for a long time, especially while shooting 4K videos. I haven't seen anyone else's coverage on this phone yet, so I don't know if it's a widespread issue or if it is just specific to my device. If it is an issue for everyone, I hope Realme could fix it with an update. Other than this, I did not face any issues while using this phone for a long time. All the everyday apps open quickly and run smoothly, so you should not worry about the performance. It shipped with Realme UI 3.0, which is built on top of Android 12. I think this is the only phone in its price range to ship with Android 12 out of the box. I wish other manufacturers could take notice and follow Realme with this. You can call it Realme UI 3.0 or ColorOS 12, choice is yours because both are pretty much the same. Overall UI is clean, animations are smooth and overall design doesn't feel too cluttered. There are a ton of customization options, so you can make the phone look and feel as you want. You also get the always on display option, but I choose to keep it turned off on my phone. The X-axis vibration motor on this phone is really strong, and Realme has done well to add small haptic feedback throughout the user interface, so you get subtle but noticeable feedback while navigating through this phone. There are quite a few pre-installed apps on this phone. I get that some apps like Netflix, Amazon Shopping or a few others could be useful to people, but the apps like Hey Fun, Josh, Moj, Slowcut and many others should not come pre-installed. This is just bloatware which should not have been on the phone out of the box. I got one update on this phone while I was setting it up, but I can't say if it brought any improvements or what issues it fixed, since I didn't get a chance to use this phone before installing this update. Realme has promised 2 years of major updates on this phone, so it should be fine until Android 14. Just like the Realme 7 Pro and the 8 Pro, this 9 Pro Plus also comes with a 4500 mAh battery inside. Looking at how thin this phone is, I thought they might squeeze in a smaller battery inside this phone, but they didn't, and this is a really good thing. This 4500 mAh battery will easily last you for an entire day. The display is smaller than other phones with the same chipset, and it also refreshes at a slower refresh rate, so you can easily reach 6 hours of screen on time with heavy usage. If you are a gamer, then the battery might not last as long for you, and you will have to juice it up again towards the end of the day. This is where the 60-watt super dart charger will come into play. It took my phone from 5 to 50% in just 15 minutes and could fully charge it in around 42 or 44 minutes, which is ample fast in my opinion. Realme 7 Pro came with a 65-watt charger and the 8 Pro went back to 50-watt charger, so it is nice to see the 9 Pro Plus again speeding things a bit. Nowadays, cameras are a major deciding factors on phones in any price range. If you guys saw my full review of the Xiaomi 11i Hypercharge, you know that is a very good phone, but its cameras are not up to the mark, so I can't really recommend that phone to anyone. Realme seems to have taken a few steps to ensure that the cameras on this 9 Pro Plus are one of the most talked feature. First of all, they got rid of the useless 2-megapixel black and white sensor which was on their phones for the past 2 years. A big thumbs up for that, and then they also stopped playing the megapixel war. Instead of going with a 108-megapixel sensor like last year, this time they went with a much better quality 50-megapixel Sony IMX766 sensor which also gets OIS, and this is something that we don't see on phones in this price range, so an even bigger thumbs up to Realme for that. Other two cameras get an 8-megapixel sensor with ultra-wide angle lens and f2.2 aperture, and a 2-megapixel sensor with a macro lens and f2.4 aperture. Now there has been a big controversy and lot of talk about the OIS feature on its main camera. To see if it's really working or not, I decided to test it out myself. As you can see, I'm in the photos mode, and when you look at the main image sensor, you can see the lens move around when I shake the camera a bit. Here you can look at it in slow motion. So OIS is working in the photos mode, which is great as it helps a lot in low light shots. Now switching over to the videos. Here I am in 1080p resolution and I will start shooting the video. As we look at the main sensor, we still see the lens moving around and trying to compensate for the shakes. So OIS is also working while shooting 1080p videos. Now I will switch to 4K resolution and start recording video. We again see the lens element on the main camera moving around, so yes, OIS is working while shooting 4K videos as well. But when we look at the videos, 1080p videos look much more stable compared to the 4K ones. And this is because 1080p videos get both OIS and EIS, so they are more stable, while 4K videos only get OIS, which also doesn't seem to be working all that well, and hence these videos don't look as smooth or stable. Maybe Realme hasn't put the time and effort to optimize this feature very well, or maybe the chipset isn't capable to take the best advantage of it. Here's a 4K video from the Xiaomi 11i Hypercharge for comparison, and you can see how horribly shaky it looks. At the same time, you can see the Realme 9 Pro Plus's video looks a bit better and slightly smoother, and this is thanks to the OIS feature being at work. That being said, don't go with the OIS marketing hype. It is there on this phone, but other than while taking images, it doesn't work all that well. For the images, daytime shots from the main camera look really sharp and crisp. They might look a bit extra sharp on the phone's display, but on a bigger screen, they don't look over sharp. Colors don't look as they were in real life, but color is a personal choice, so depending on that, you may or may not like these images. HDR mode is very aggressive, and it brings up a lot of details on the shadows while preserving the brighter areas as well. Close-up shots also look good, and since the sensor is huge and the aperture is also wide, the background gets a very nice optical blur. Wide lens is nothing out of the ordinary, but it gets the job done as you can see in these shots. The macro mode is just as useless on this phone as it is on others that come with a 2-megapixel sensor. The low light shots is where this phone shines. You can look at these low light shots. OIS is useful in these situations where even a slightest shake results in a blurry shot. It's nice to see OIS and night mode work together to make these images look so good. At this price range, I think this might be the best phone to capture low light shots. While it takes mostly good images, I wouldn't be too quick to rate it as the best camera in this price range. To know more about its cameras, you will have to wait until I drop its dedicated camera review. All I could say for certain right now is these cameras are better than the ones on the Xiaomi 11i Hypercharge. I'm working on a detailed camera review of this phone where I will have a lot more image and video samples, and I will also be able to tell you a lot more about all these cameras. So make sure you have the notifications for this channel turned on so you don't miss out when that video drops. So let's do a quick recap of the pros and cons of this phone. Let us begin with the pros. Due to the size, overall in-hand feel of this phone is really good. Glass back makes it feel more premium than the Realme 8 Pro. Dual stereo speakers is always a plus point. In-display fingerprint sensor is fast and accurate. Dimensity 920 processor helps deliver better performance. It ships with Android 12 out of the box. Battery backup is good, and the fast charger fully charges it under 45 minutes. Camera performance is really well in initial testing, and OIS is definitely a plus point in this price range. Now the cons. The design is not that different or new. There is no IP rating for any kind of water or splash resistance. The display is just 90Hz when the competition is giving 120Hz in a similar price range. The bottom bezel is very thick, which makes the phone look old. With 600 nits of peak brightness, the display doesn't get as bright as some of the other phones in its price range. No HDR playback support on Netflix and other streaming apps. The speakers sound a bit hollow and tinny at higher volumes. There is no expandable storage. It gets really warm while using the camera. Charging is fast but not as fast as the competition, and the OIS feature doesn't work all that well while shooting videos. So these are all the pros and cons that you have to look at before making your purchase decision. Some of the other phones that you might also want to consider at or around this price point are the Realme GT Master, which is often available at a similar price, Xiaomi 11i Hypercharge, IQ7 in the Samsung M52. Starting at 24,999, I think this phone makes a bit of compromises. If it started at 22,000 rupees mark, it would have been a really good phone. This is what I feel about this Realme 9 Pro Plus. What do you guys think? Does it justify its 25,000 rupees starting price? And if you guys were looking to get a new phone in under 30,000 rupees, would you consider getting this? Let me know in the comments. Stay tuned for a very detailed camera review and comparison with other phones in this price range. That is it for this video, guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for a lot more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.